welcome to the second episode, part 2 of episode 188 of the Sawdust Station podcast.
This is Josh from North Country Woodworking.
And I'm Nat from Nap's Naughty Works, LLC.
This is Tim from Gears and Fire.
Hi, I'm Ben with Beach Time Woodworks.
And this is Victor from WIMM Designs. So Tim, when are you gonna have a inlay class on the podcast?
Inlay class. As soon as I figure out what the heck I'm doing.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Josh did some inlays. Josh did some inlays this week.
Sure
I'm
did.
I'm not the best teacher. I mean, like, I can show you the steps and depths and stuff like that, but like to really finesse those inlays is kind of a pain in the butt. So like the guy I learned from is like this Russian guy, Broen Wood. I don't know if anyone.
Oh God, yeah, he's just some amazing stuff.
Like, it's like I'm still chasing that guy's level. You know what I mean? But his process is the same process that I use. Like, the depths is a little bit different, but for the most part, I'm doing what he does. So like, I think as long as you maintain minimum detail thickness, I can give you the depths and stuff off.
Is it a 3-2-1 method?
No. Well, it started out that way, but then it was not working out as well as I hoped.
Okay.
So the guy that came up with that 3-2-1 method, like, he was using like a straight, like an actual pointy tip V-bit, whereas like the bit that I'm using, the 12.5 degree, it actually has a 30-second rounded bit, and that changes things. So that was my learning curve, is like how to deal with that rounded bit. So by tweaking the depths and stuff like that, I was able to kind of circumvent that issue.
Okay.
But I mean, just like getting that guy dialed in with a very old router on my CNC, it's been an adventure. Like I said, Betty's a sturdy gal. She's just not the most accurate sometimes.
Know the feeling.
Hey, Victor, on the wall behind you, you've got a really nice set of tools up on your wall. Is that foam that you have cut out to put your tools into?
Yes, that's Kaizen foam. Yeah,
Nice.
I like it. That looks
yeah.
sharp.
Actually, a lot of the stuff in here, they were getting rid of some stuff. So that's actually a whiteboard that I decided to repurpose for a tool wall. I have a couple of cabinets.
No, that's sharp, dude.
And that's one of the things, and I'll keep it short because I know we're getting a little late, but that's one of the things I find as a maker. I don't know how everybody else feels, and I didn't know this until a couple of years ago when I first started getting into the makerspace, that I had been doing this my whole life. I know that sounds weird to a lot of people probably, I knew I was going to do this, and I knew, but from a teenager, I would sit there and look at something and try to say, okay, how can I do that better? How can I, and that's what I think a lot of people sometimes don't realize. You don't have to start. And I asked this question of a lot of people, where do you get your inspiration from? Because I'm always curious about that, because I feel that a lot of people, they want to say, oh, well, I get it. I just come up with this. And it's really not the case a lot of times. A lot of times, let's be honest, there's only so many things out there that people do, right? Whether it's a sign or how they do it or whatever. Yeah, we put our own spin on it. We change it. Like I was saying before, you go onto Etsy, you see the same tool holder from 10 different people, but somebody does it a little different, So it's just curious to me how people do stuff like that. And this is what I'm trying to do throughout the whole shop, get everything organized. I'll show everybody here, but another thing that my work actually got rid of is sit-stand desks. So I take these frames now, which I'm going to take, nice. And as I take apart the sit-stand desks, I'll give everybody a quick look here. Okay. So this is going to go up on the wall. Sorry. It's going to go up on the wall.
Nice.
And again, space saver, 1-car garage. Gotta learn how to use your space. I learned a long time ago that I can't go left to right. I got to go up and down. And I have to fit as many tools as I can. Josh, I'm sure you can understand that with the one car garage. And, and that's why, I find that, like I said, this year is organization. And it's going to be getting to the point where I can sit there and get my CNC. If I can get my CNC running the way I'd like to get it running and the laser, I want to get to a point where I can get a big boy laser like Nap there and, and possibly move some things around and, be in debt for a little while and make some money on the laser. And Nap, you are not getting rid. You are going to have a laser in the shop. Stop now.
I didn't say I wouldn't have a laser.
You are going to have
it. I just won't have it right now.
Okay. And Tim, if you don't want that laser, just let me know. I know a guy.
I must be crazy if I actually think I'm gonna allow myself to.
You will
do that.
Do it.
I want a laser in the worst way.
You will. Just do it.
But I also want a Bamboo X1. I also want my own seated SolidWorks. I also want, but I gotta figure out what really is my priority.
Buy me
laser.
Buy me. Oh yeah, I agree. But that's the thing. I have such a toss up because I know I can make really good money with a printer as well. I'm really struggling at printer or laser.
But do you think
because I could see the absolute benefit.
Do you think you could make more money on the printer or the laser?
Good question.
Yes.
Yes.
Because right now my workload is so nebulous. It could really go either way. If the laser's in front of my face, I'm going to tailor all my work towards laser projects. Same with the printer. But because I have CAD and I can hit that print button so easy, it's very natural for me to select the printer first.
So then I guess the real question is, how long would it take as far as the time? Because if you're saying that you can come up with a design, whether it be a laser or a printer, at that point, I guess it really would just depend on how long it's going to take you to do what. If a print job is going to say, let's take, 8 hours to do 4 items, and a laser job takes how long? I mean, obviously there's plus and minuses on both, and not everything you can laser. So you're right. The printer might be the better choice, and it is a little less expensive.
Right.
It's
less expensive, and it's a smaller footprint.
Right.
And the infrastructure to support that is a lot smaller as well. And just like you, Victor, I'm 2024. I am diving deep into organization. This basement space is not the final. It's not supposed to be a shop, but I'm organizing the hell out of it. And just by throwing stuff away, organizing, putting stuff on shelves.
That right there, Tim. Throwing stuff away. You're right. Yes.
I've built 3 shelves.
Except for bits, they become ornaments.
Those are ornaments, yes. And I have gained and I'm not even kidding, about 200 square feet of space just by throwing stuff away and putting stuff on shelves and organizing stuff. Really, really utilizing the space within the rest of the basement. We have this giant crawl space under our big living room or whatever, and it's a concrete floor. I have 4 feet of space that's at least 500 square feet. That's perfect storage for a whole lot of stuff. So now I'm actively getting after it. I'm organizing. But now that I have a little bit more footprint, I can start thinking about other tools as in addition to the laser and the printer. But like I said, it's all about organizing. Right now I'm going through all of my saved plastic, all my saved wood, everything, and I'm organizing by size. So basically when I need to use that material, I can find it a lot quicker.
Well, good luck with it.
It's going to pay off too.
Good. And don't fill it back up again.
I'm throwing stuff away, man. I'm throwing it away.
Don't burn the walnut.
Send it over here.
No, I just paint the walnut.
You have to paint it and then burn it.
I thought he was going to stain it walnut.
So honestly,
Jason's got a good point. Who can organize better? Maybe Me and Victor can have it organized off.
Organization in the shop is paramount to getting in the shop and being productive. Anyone that has had a dirty shop knows they don't want to go in the shop and actually produce anything because the weight of having to clean it it sucks. And then when you go in there and even try to work with the conditions that are existing and not put that stuff away, your job flow and everything else suffers. The biggest thing that you guys have talked about throughout this entire episode is organization. If you organize your shop, and even if you make a mess, and this is how I operate, I organize my shop. I make a mess during a job. After the job, I usually take a day. I go back, I clean it up if I have that day and get everything clean and then come back the next day to start a new job. That has got me going into the shop when I need to go in the shop most days. It's because I take that special time, if you will, to clean the shop, and I have the kids come out. I have them help vacuum, sweep, what have you. I put things away. So the next time I'm trying to be productive, I know where things are. I know that it's clean. I have the dust under control. And that's one thing personally I did not do well when I was in New Jersey. When I emptied that shop, there was piles of dust behind stuff, and I was blowing the shop out every week. It starts from the beginning to control that. And if you have a good organization, and one of the things that Nat brought up about having to move and being able to kind of restructure your shop to fit you, you learn different things. Yes, it does suck having to do that because we can't, personally, I cannot modify much in the garage to a certain extent. But organization is key to having good shop life for your mental health, for your projects, and for your fingertips.
I like
But
it.
I mean, don't let your shop get so clean that you're afraid to get it dirty.
Oh yeah, you
Don't
got
worry. I don't think we have to worry about that in this group, okay?
no.
Again, I don't know.
So
I
Josh,
think we all like it just a little bit dirty.
we've heard about a lot of other people, what's going on in their shops. What's going on in your shop, Josh?
Oh, not too much. Let's see. I had some pretty good progress in there this weekend. I had to build these 5 boxes for basic photography, and 2 of them were due this weekend, so I knocked those out and got them delivered. They took professional photos of them for me and backdrops and everything, and one of the photos I built the box, and it was hard for me to tell which one was which I thought was pretty cool. I mean, they're heavy too. I have 3 more to build of those. The 3 are going to build they're going to be stackable so they can fit in each other. And then I was doing a shadow box, and the facade, when I carved it, skipped XY or the big S dog, something happened and it messed up. But in great maker fashion, what do? So I actually can use that piece of wood, since I didn't carve that far into it and I didn't carve out the shape. I can plane that down and use it for another project that I have, and it's not going to affect any of the integrity or anything of the other project. And then I already glued up the panel. I could throw on the CNC and go ahead and carve that out. Now, I haven't done that just because of the scenario playing out in my house right now. But once I can, I should be able to get right back into it and basically move through that process. And that it took me the rest of the day to kind of figure that out and kind of get to a level head and think about how I was going to utilize it. Because I was in one of those predicaments where I could continue doing the carves and the cuts, and the wood be unusable for a certain amount, or I can just say, hey, start over. If I start over, I can actually do something with this, and it just have to cut it down to a certain size, laser grave on top of it, and it would be a stove topper. So the 1/8 inch carve that's on top of it, once it's planed down, it's not going to even matter to that particular project. That's why I'm saying, like, organization, keeping a level head, having those key details in your shop matter. I had to step away. I talked to Ben, I talked to Nap. I was sitting there and I was pretty distraught about it. I mean, like, I trust my machine, and I'm having to relearn the machine due to the different programs I'm using. And I didn't know if it was a software issue. I didn't know if it was a design issue. There was a lot of things that, because I don't have the confidence I had at one time, I had to go back and look at. And I can say with certainty that it wasn't a software issue. It wasn't anything. It had to be, I probably oversped my bit. It was going too deep and it just went off, doing its own thing about an eighth inch to the left. Honestly, if it wasn't, I was thinking about actually letting it carve and putting epoxy in those, that carve instead of, their traditional inlays. Now, it's not something I've personally done or have seen yet, but I think it would be pretty interesting to have a facade, have epoxy inlay in there with, the kind of, you could do black, you could blue, or whatever you want, or even do a light behind it so it lights it up. There's different things you could have done with that, and I could have experimented with that. But looking at the wood supply and everything I had, I went the road I went. So things have changed, obviously, since I started, and since we've all started. I think we've all done it where in the beginning we would have been like, well, I don't know what we're going to do. We're just throwing off course. But no, it was fairly easy to go in there, do what I needed to do, realize, what I had to do. And, with the help of a few good friends and reaching out to help that level-headedness happen, come up with a game plan moving forward. Owning a business, getting in the shop, and doing these things is not easy. Especially because, you're a one-man team, right? I mean, yes, I have Heather and I have whatnot, but it's a one-man team. You're out there by yourself. You're out there doing stuff. But it's not so much when you have a community behind you that you can reach out and actually gain access to other information and ideas and insights that you might not think of on your own. That's why I think the podcast, Instagram, and certain other things that we utilize is paramount to our journey with this. We use it because we're all good friends, we're a community, we help each other out, but it helps us grow and move forward and not to the point where you're alone trying to deal with these emotions and everything that's happening in the shop, because it's emotional. I don't care who you are. I was upset. I had to keep a level head. You know what I'm saying? You just can't, I might have said some choice words in there, but it happened. There's no going back after that bit touched that wood. Lessons have always been learned with every mistake. We always move forward with that. And I actually have something new I want to try. I think I'm going to do a little shadow box miniature and see what it would look like a facade with some epoxy. I don't know. Mess around with it a little bit. I've been doing the same designs. I mean, this one's a little bit different, but add a little, kick in there, maybe a little bit more than I have been in the past. Or mix it up with because this one's like half stripes and half a symbol. Do the symbol in epoxy and the stripes and the traditional stuff. I do feel sorry for the client. I was supposed to ship it out this week, but due to everything happening, I might be this weekend. But I'm not going to stress about it. I'm going to, keep doing what I got to do and get in there when I can.
I think you bring up a good point, Josh, is that life changes for everybody. And we have family situations come up, we have sickness, whatever it is, and we can't beat ourselves up or put us in a situation that will make things even worse.
Exactly.
You have to take a step back.
Yep.
Gotta move forward.
Big deep breath and
That's it.
design time.
Make a shadow box for that new ornament you got.
I definitely wanted to do that. I have everything to sharpen my lathe tools. I just haven't done it, and that's something that I personally am trying to get better at this year. I don't sharpen my stuff almost at all, so it's just one of those things where if I need it and I see it's dull, I'll sharpen it real quick, but I don't spend all the necessary time to get it razor sharp. I get it to where I need it, it works, and I go. I want to definitely get into, sharpening my stuff, taking time to do that. Maybe make it part of that cleanup session I've been talking about. There are multiple ways to do that. I just got to find the best way for me. I have, diamond stones and stuff like that. I can go ahead and use diamond plates, and, just find the art and the enjoyment in that. Has to be better than sanding. Just got to say that.
What? I'm sorry. Can you say it again?
Left that one wide open.
Hey, you got me earlier.
Yeah, no, I have never stated on this podcast or anywhere before I enjoy standing. Now, the Merca has made it more enjoyable than it was in the past, but I still roll
Yes.
my eyes in the back of my head as I'm standing all the way up to 320 or higher. So,
No better with
which
pedestal.
I will say those boxes, or at least two of those boxes, were pretty nice because they wanted them rustic, which meant I really didn't have to work that wood at all. I mean, like I used my 16 gauge nail gun, and I was like, and I glued it too. But yeah, but it was like a pallet crate box, and the other one had a little bit more detail and stuff on it. But I'll probably be posting about them at some point in time. I'm kind of behind in posting. I'm like a month or two behind all my projects. So what you see is, in the past, and I think I'm just trying to build my stock of my posts, and I'll get back on track with that. But the seasonal life has been a lot longer than I assumed, and we're just plowing through it at the moment. So it is what it is, and we're getting after it. Just it might not show on Instagram, but it is happening.
I think it's a good community that we're in, though, too. Is like, even if we can't post something, at least somebody's checking in on us.
Absolutely. Yep. And that's it too. That's why I like this community so much. You're not going to find it in any kind of car community. You're not going to find it in any other kind of hobbyist community. This is a very unique one, and hopefully we can keep that going moving forward. And to represent that, it's this episode tonight. I mean, look, look at the makers we have here. All walks of life, different states, doing different things. You guys are all talented in your own right in different things. And that's where this podcast is moving. It's always been about community, but it's going to be a community podcast from now on. I truly mean it. If you want to be part of it, if you want to be on it, hit me up, hit Napa. We'll set up a time, we'll set up a date. You can come on. I don't know if we're going to do more than 5 because that's a little too much editing for me. But, if you want to come on, we'll get you on.
So next week it is. Got it. Okay.
Yeah, it's an open invitation. Honestly, it's easier for us when more people are on because we enjoy talking to you guys. Obviously, we have a maker chat. We talk in there. We talk to you guys on the side. We call each other. I mean, like, it's more than a community. We're a family, and we help each other out. So I want this podcast to feel like that for everyone listening as well. You know what I'm saying? I want them to know Ben's name and Victor's name and Tim's and Nap's and myself and anyone else that wants to join. I don't care if you have 1 follower or 1,000.
You hear my name, you fall asleep. I mean, come on, it's Nap. All right, take a nap. Just saying.
It's just your nickname. But yeah, I mean,
I think I'm going to change mine to No Sand Ben.
We're going with the discreet names. Got it. All right, so Ben's street name is No Sand
old
Ben.
Sandbox
No
Warren.
Sand Ben, chicken
Here
legs.
comes old Sandbox Warren.
Oh, chicken legs.
Hey, listen. Make fun of my chicken legs one more time. I'll see you all at some point in time in your life. Don't you worry.
Jersey.
Hey, Josh, you remember when you let me borrow that towel, or I used a towel that you may
Oh,
or may not have let me borrow? Yeah, don't you worry.
I still see you go like this.
You just wait.
Oh my god.
We got to share a room again. Don't you worry, young man. I will make sure.
I suddenly want to go to Workbench Con.
I got to buy my ticket to your house, by the way. I got to fly to Josh's place in Illinois. Ugh.
Boo.
But no, I'm actually looking forward to the road trip because I get to bother him the whole way down. I get to go, I'm not touching you.
Nice.
I'm not touching you. I'm like a little kid. I'm not touching you.
Who wants to bet that I'll be driving and all you're going to hear in the passenger seat is...
Oh, no, there's no bet. There's no bet. I'm pretty sure I'll be sleeping for at least the first couple hours.
Well, I think it's like an 8-hour trip. So, like, it's really whatever.
We'll split it 4 and 4. Don't worry.
Yeah. Like, honestly, the truck is so
It's
comfortable.
only 8 hours? Really?
Yeah, I think it's about 8 hours from here to Georgia.
Wow.
So.
Oh, and for those that are wondering.
It was 16 hours for us to get from Wisconsin to New York, to East Durham, New York.
Well, I think for me, it's like 6 hours, 6-7 hours to get to you.
Yeah.
Wow.
and then 14 to get the
Southern
Victor.
folk.
And I haven't checked for Ben, but it's probably around that too.
16, 18 hours, yeah.
Well, I don't know what that was, but
Yeah, what was that?
I don't know. But just know that my truck has officially survived a 308 round. She has been repaired and is back in my custody with no holes in her.
Nice.
That's for your air conditioning.
So many questions.
Yes, that's a badge of honor there.
Well, you have so many questions, Tim, but there is a whole episode where I talk about how I shot my truck. It's
kind of
calling out.
You can't dodge it, ram it, or some shit. I don't know what the name of the episode is, but that should have been it. But no, yeah, I shot my truck by accident and my neighbor's truck at the same time.
Wow.
Why do I feel that would have been oh my god. I feel like it would have been a Nick story.
Dude, I laugh about it now, but that shit was scary when it happened. No, actually, if it was a Nick story, it'd probably be more along the lines of how never mind, I'll leave that alone.
Set you up.
I got a joke for you. An Avid, an X-Carve, and a 150 meet in the same garage. What do you think happened?
They all said they want to be an Axiom.
Yeah, one got used. Anyways, so we'll go ahead and leave that be. I mean, listen, I'm gonna tell you what. When you got that much hardware sitting in your garage and nothing's happened with it, I'd make jokes about it too. But anyways, I'll see him at Workbench Con and I'll make fun of him there too, because I think it's funny. But anyways, hey John,
does he even have the Avid set up yet?
Dude, I don't want to talk about it. Okay, Daniel's got his Avid. Listen, Daniel unpacked his and has his running, and I was like, man, if only some people could take notes in this world. It's weird. But anyways, I love Nick.
Speculation would say no.
Yeah, I would say that it's probably a no. I love Nick to death, but man, that dude's got so much freaking like hardware in his garage, and I just wonder when he's actually going to put it to use. Because efficiency is built off of nicer machines. I just wonder if he's ever going to actually do that.
I got to order that ATC, which reminds me.
Hey, listen, bro. I ordered the ATC. I'm super stoked to get it. I think it's going to be a whole weekend. I'm debating on if I'm just going to videotape the entire thing and then work on my editing skills and try to chop it into segments. I'm not sure yet. I ain't gonna lie, guys. I just don't care anymore about Instagram. Like it's not that it's a waste of my time, but I'm not a full-time maker. You know what I mean? I might as well be, but I'm not. And I just don't have time for it.
So if you're going to do video,
you have no reason to chase.
Are you thinking about doing YouTube then?
Something like that, something similar. Especially for folks that have not done the upgrade yet. I'm actually going to use it as an opportunity to help Daniel, because as of now, I don't work. We work with Daniel, not for Daniel. I would like to work for Daniel one day because he's got like a whole.
So would I.
He's got like a whole skill bridge program for us military folks. So I'm pretty excited to maybe take advantage of that later down the road. And skill bridge is where like you go learn how to work in his company, and then the Air Force does their thing and pays for it, and then you actually go work for him. It helps you bridge. Wow. It helps you bridge the gap between military and civilian life, which I think is pretty awesome. And Daniel was gracious enough to spend all of the time and effort to get that set up. So one of our previous members could go ahead and do that.
Cool.
So I'm pretty excited for him and hopefully us in the future.
Oh, I'm next.
But
does Daniel happen to need a product developer? That's
maybe not so much a product developer, but maybe an extra set of eyes, maybe. And
the best thing you could do, Tim, is reach out to Daniel and have that conversation.
I'm sure he would love a 3D renderer.
No, I'm not even kidding. Like we said this a couple times on here. Daniel is he's a people person, and like he's about the community. And if he has something to offer, he might bring you on board. It's really that conversation he's having between you guys.
Yep.
Yeah, because like I'm a lot more than just a CAD jockey. Like I'm an idea guy. I invent stuff. I have 2 patents in my name so far.
Well, I'll tell you what. We've got a team of I think 10 so far, Josh.
Yeah, about 10.
10 that are officially on the team. that work on things, and Josh and I are on that team. However, I would say level of contribution is not to the max extent due to our current situation. We're in the military. Okay. But my level of contribution for the year of 2024 is the upgrade to the Onefinity and adding the ATC to my Onefinity post upgrade. Because I don't have an elite foreman. I'm taking my journeyman that I currently have and turning it into an elite machine. So I'm going to document and bridge that gap for folks that are going to take the cheaper route.
So wait a minute, you had to purchase the ATC as well as the.
I did, because so check this out, folks. So a lot of sponsors, okay, for a lot of folks in the maker community that have lots of followers, and this is no shot at them because they're good at what they do. A lot of folks, they get their, screw it, they get their freebies. Okay. We support Daniel and everything that he does, and I will tell you firsthand that I am not one to accept handouts and or accept free items to just post and show that his product is awesome. I support him in the fact that I will buy everything outright that he makes, and that is how I will support him, but then also further support him by giving data that will help his business grow further down the road. That's the kind of person I am. I don't mind free things. Don't get me wrong, Daniel. If you hear this episode, bro, I love free things. But at the same time, I'm not going to go ask because that makes me feel weird. Like, hey, man, I'm doing this for you. Give me free stuff.
Say, hey, bud, I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah, right.
So...
Like that, but that's really how it is, though. So here's the thing, folks. So there are a lot of folks out there that are super entitled, and I'm sorry for the folks that are awesome makers out there that have wonderful followings, because there are some people out there that are awesome. I love them. Like Daniel Dunlap, that dude's got a huge following, but I love what he does. Okay. But there are folks out there, and I won't name names because I met them at the previous Workbench Con, and I did not like the way they did business. And I've actually seen them on an infomercial recently for like businesses or something. And I don't know what the hell it was, but you know who I'm talking about. So whoever listens to this, you'll know those people, not saying they want free things, but those people are the people I don't align with because I don't feel like they do what we want to do for the community. Too snobbish, nose up to the community that they're that much better because of their 100K followers or whatever they have. I hate to break it to the folks out there in the Instagram world that have these huge followings. That means nothing. I'm sorry. To your people that that are sponsoring those things, it's great. You get them, their advertisements, but those people watch you because you're awesome in some way, shape, or form. And that's great, but majority of them just don't. Josh?
You can call me ET for my spirit name.
Okay.
Sorry, I had to. Anyway, so yes, I agree 100% what you said. But I will say, if someone pushes that follow button and follows me, numbers don't mean anything. It's the fact that someone took the time to say, hey, you're doing something I kind of want to see, and pushes that fall. I used to chase the algorithm. I was trying to get numbers. Same thing with this podcast. We were trying to get numbers. And then at some point in time, I realized that that's not what my page and what this podcast is about. And we went back to what it was. And that's where I'm comfortable. That's where I have the most fun. And there are people that do it so naturally. That's where they end up. That. And that is where I want to get. If I get 10,000 followers off of something I do, great. Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to continue doing what I like doing because that in the end is going to make me happy in the long term. Short-term numbers and bumps and stuff are awesome. And, it's not like, I still do hashtags and when I do posts and stuff because I like to, get likes and stuff too. And that's how you get outreach. But what it comes down to is I didn't get where I am. And how can I say this so it's right? the people that I surround myself with are quality. It's not about quantity.
Sure.
I think you have to stay true to yourself
Mhm.
and be genuine.
And that's
And
the
if you're
biggest
not
thing.
true to yourself or genuine, people are going to see that. It may take a couple of minutes for them to find that out, but the people that are going to grow at the pace they need to grow,
Yep.
and a pace that doesn't make them go, "Oh, I'm a superstar." I think that slower pace allows them to continue being who they are, being genuine, and being better at what they do by having that community. Like myself, I'm going to say this right now. I am not the best at 3D carving. I'm not the best of giving advice, but I belong to a community with Knapp and Josh and Tim and Victor, that there are other people in this community that I can call and say, "Hey, I need some help on something," and they're willing to give me the time to help me with something. And that means more to me than a follower or trying to fake it or you know say I'm better than anybody else. There's always somebody better than me, and I realize that. But I like being able to reach out and talk to other people.
Mhm.
And if I can give somebody some advice that helps them along the way, I think that's great. But I still reach out to other people as well. And I'm not going to say that I'm the best and I don't need help.
And I like being in the position too where I don't have to rely on a giant following.
Mhm.
Like I do this for fun.
Yes.
And that puts a lot less stress on me and all of you guys, I'm sure.
Amen, brother.
Because we are, like I said, we are not chasing those sponsorships.
No.
We used
Like-
to, right? I mean,
Yeah.
that's what you did.
Then we
Don't get me wrong. If somebody says, "Hey, take this," I'm sure we all wouldn't be like, "No."
Yeah.
It
right.
depends.
I have to do a reel within the next couple of weeks or so for a product. I'll just say that, but it's not like a giant commitment where I need to see 10 reels, 5 stories, blah blah blah. Like nope, because I got rid of cable for a reason. I hated commercials,
Mhm.
so I don't want to become a commercial for somebody. No, see, if it's something that I really appreciate, like when I have to do the thing, I'll do it. But that's the end of it. Like no one's going to have to suffer more than one commercial because of me. Like just here's the work that I do, and if you're interested, try this thing. But here's more work. Here's more projects that I did. If you have any questions, come and ask me. That's the focus of why I'm on Instagram, not because of the sponsorships, not because of the followers.
Mhm.
I mean, it's kind of like Total Boat for me and Josh. I mean, I use Total Boat for everything epoxy. Okay, I just do. Just because, one, it's what I know. And two, their product hasn't failed me, other than the one exothermic reaction, but that was user error. I literally tried to set a plastic cup on fire. That was great.
Tried
Well,
or
yeah,
did?
Close, dude.
It smoked, so it came
Oh, okay.
close. It's actually in the Epoxy Nightmares episode, way back when I think it was like close to episode 80, 70-ish. But yeah, I
Like-
tried to.
100
But-
episodes ago.
Yeah. So Josh and I, we use
Wow.
their stuff exclusively. We do get things from them, and we post stories about them. Mind you, do I need to be better about posting my stories? Probably should. I do have some projects coming up where I will use epoxy and I will tag them and do all the things. But like you said, Tim, I hate the possible stress behind I have to do this, I have to do that, all these things.
Yep.
Listen, I spend enough time on my phone messing with stupid games that mean nothing. Okay, because that's what I kill time with when I'm not with my family and when I'm at work and I have no real task for the day. Okay, and that's very minimal. But I don't want to be on my phone making reels. I don't want to sit there and make a reel. It gets deleted. Now I got to remake it because my phone was being an asshole, and I have to, reboot my phone. That
Right.
stuff is. You know what?
You want your
Go ahead.
I was just say you want your commitments to be your projects,
Yeah,
and your community.
yeah. And you know what? And listen, hats off to my full-time makers out there. Okay, I know I kind of said like, hey, if you got a huge following, like, cool, no one cares. Like, okay, in retrospect, no one really does care how many followers you have. I more care, and maybe you all can align with this. I only care what kind of person you are. I'm looking at a maker right now on my phone that I follow and I watch. I don't comment very often, but I met this guy at WorkbenchCon, okay? His name is Kamani Van Strayhorn, and his
love that guy.
His Instagram handle is Van Stray Designs. That dude was as genuine as they come. Another one, Archie Sergiano, right? I think that's his name. That dude is as genuine as they come, okay? And then, of course, you got Ed Cardona. You got all these folks that, we've interacted with, you guys, all genuine makers, okay? And then somebody's got bigger followings than we do, but they're genuine people. And they don't act like assholes, okay? Like, so,
right.
To me, that is my measure of a maker, is how genuine you are and what kind of person you are. If you're that person, okay, if you're the person that's, got your nose up to folks because you don't have a big following, I'm sorry, you're not my person. You can honestly go kick rocks and enjoy your sponsorships, because eventually that will end and no one's going to care about what you're doing. It's just
we're talking long term versus short term too.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, so that's the big player here. So everyone we're talking about, everyone that we're mentioning, the people here, we're in this for the long term. I mean, like, yeah, we're not making money hand over fist here, but that's because we enjoy what we're doing. We're trying to, achieve something that is a dream, something that, is hope that someday we can go full time. For me personally, I never in a million years, when I first started, thought this would be where I'm at, talking to makers from around the U.S. or even around the globe through a podcast or a social media platform. But that's where we are. That's what we get to do. It's something that, we've been able to do and utilize because we're enjoying ourselves. When you're doing this social media game where you're trying to gain influence so you can gain sponsors, so you can basically do this for a full-time job, it's a lot of work. You're giving a lot of yourself out there for something that you better enjoy doing.
Right.
And, we've nailed this pretty good when it comes to this topic, but in the end, Ben said it right. You better be yourself, because if you're not, it's only so long you can put on that mask for it and it fall off. And we've seen it. We've seen it a couple times. I would say more than a couple at this point. And, that's one thing I am grateful for. I believe that everyone that we talk to on a daily basis are definitely not those kind of people. We are true to ourselves with all the flaws and features. And I can go.
Wait a minute. That's character. $10.
Yeah, you better
charge
pay
extra
$10
for that.
for my character flaws. Hell yeah. I'll tell you what. But yeah, I love everyone in the.
That's my influencer surcharge.
Yeah, influencer surcharge. Perfect.
What is this influencer surcharge you speak of?
Yeah. So like,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, you're right. I don't.
Your follower count is just so terrible.
Yeah.
No.
Hold on.
But no, I enjoy the small circle of people that I talk to. Yeah, I will admit I haven't been very vocal, very active lately, because maybe I should be. Life's been busy,
I'd say you have a pretty solid 7-pound excuse, dude.
7 pounds. I wish he was 7 pounds. That child is 10 pounds. He's a
10
beast.
pounds we're up to.
That's great.
But I'm gonna tell you something. Is what I love is I can do what I need to do in real life, and I call it real life because everyone lives in this digital world of social media these days. Can't get their face out of the phone to save their life. But I can go away and do family things, do real life things, come back, and it's like I never skipped a beat. Everyone in the makers chat, I love all y'all. All right. When y'all listen to this episode, yeah, you guys are awesome. Like even Stan, even if I want to beat that crayon eating mother trucker. No, I love Stan to death, man. That dude's about as real as they get. He'll tell you how it is, and I know all you will, but I'll tell you, Stan will tell you how it is.
Stan's very genuine.
Very, very, with a very strong G on that. Genuine there. But no, Stan, just like many, are very real with the folks. They don't sugarcoat because I hate the sugar.
What's the point?
Give me the way it is. If my project sucks, tell me. Those
guys,
kinds of
it's a
things.
good time.
Now's the time to tell me how terrible all my stuff was.
I don't want to say anything, but that boat. No, man, sorry. But
I do love how.
I got you, Stan. I got you back.
I love how I can talk to these guys even after not responding to like messages or liking messages or anything of those things after weeks. Honestly, it's not that I'm ignoring you guys. I'm reading your stuff. I don't have time to respond all the time, and I feel bad. I really do. You guys may not think that, but I do feel bad when I don't get to respond. Ben, when I miss your phone calls, and honestly, it pisses me off when I forget to call you back. Because
it's all right.
Because I'm going to tell you what, I know you called me, and then you sit there and talk, and I see I'm like, mother, I didn't call Ben back. So like I actually take that stuff to heart, and it sucks, but real life happens.
You're right. Life happens. You had a kid. I had a grandkid.
Yeah, I know.
So,
congrats, by the way. They're grandpa, papa, or whatever you go by.
Papa. Yeah. So we're still waiting for the baby to come home. Still in NICU. Was born 8 weeks early. So
hey, that was me. I was born 2 months early. Let's go.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I know.
I was born 3 weeks late.
And what was really great about Nap's child is he chose my daughter's birthday to have his child.
Nice.
I don't know if I chose that. He chose that.
Just saying, you could have waited a little bit longer.
No. Okay. Hey, full disclosure, Josh was messing with the entire time. It was like, that's going to be Josh Jr., right? I was like, if you say it one more time, I'm going to fill this whole room with uppercut. You hear? But no, Asher, Asher came out perfect.
That's awesome.
No issues. Now Sarah wants another one.
Give her time.
She goes, I want another one. After, I don't want to go through that again. This was terrible. Nah. I'm like, okay, that's great. You said you didn't want to go through it, but now you want another one. So you got to pick one. It's either you want another one or you don't. I don't care. Because, that's just more of my children to populate the world. But
oh God,
she really wants a girl, though. That's the problem. She wants a girl.
You get tried.
You really should have done like twins right away. You get boy, girl right.
It was in the generation. I don't know why it hasn't happened. It was her turn to have twins. Believe it or not, Tim. You say it as a joke, or maybe for real, but that was actually supposed to happen. We were supposed to have twins. That it's in her cycle. We're in that time, but it didn't happen. So we're gonna go for round 3 probably. I don't really care if we do or don't. I'll take care of all my kids all the same, but it's gonna be like my parents. They tried for a third and got another boy. It's gonna happen. So.
When she asks for another one, just remind her the college bill that goes along with that.
Well, for at least 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll probably give. I've already got my education. I used Air Force for what it was worth. I've got my education, so I'll probably give my son Asher my GI Bill because I'm not going to do shit with it. Like, what am I going to do?
You did great.
That's great. That's huge.
You did great, man. You did great with the coloring books. You did great with everything. You got a 10 out of 10. Air Force education.
Hey, totally. I got 2 associates and a bachelor's. That's good enough for government work.
Yeah, pretty much. Put a shovel in it.
But we'll go ahead and we'll get ready to start wrapping this guy up here. First of all, I gotta say I do appreciate Ben, Victor, and Tim for coming on this episode and being hosts, also being avid supporters of the podcast. Josh, you're a normal host, bro. Calm down, okay? Calm down.
I'm special too.
I mean, yes, you're special in your own way, you Pollock.
Put me in, coach.
But I'm gonna tell you what, these three guys right here, man, they've been avid supporters really ever since I came on. Because I mean, I don't think Tim might have even listened prior. Ben, you started listening to the podcast when I mentioned it when we had met, and then Victor, you
Yeah.
were probably a supporter even before I got on here as well. But you guys have been here pretty much the entire time from, since we really started getting going with this whole thing. And we appreciate you guys being guest hosts. We appreciate you helping this thing along. And Tim, we appreciate your background help, as well as being, close to about as permanent host as you possibly can be. So we do appreciate all the help and all the things that you do for us. I wish there was another way we could repay you other than favors and sweet nothings. But realistically, guys, seriously, from the bottom of the heart, I do appreciate you all. Honestly, part of the reason why I come back and keep doing the podcast is because of folks like you. And even when I go to Louisiana, I will do my best to keep coming back to do episodes with you guys. Even if I'm not making anything, I'll still find a way to contribute somehow. But
Nobody gets out.
You're going to
easy,
be making
man.
something.
Like
I probably will be. I will find a way.
Something.
that drug is in your veins, bud.
It is, unfortunately.
It'd be 3D printed.
Unfortunately. But that's the words I have for you all and everyone in the community. If you don't know these folks, make sure you go ahead and give them a follow. So you got Tim from Gears and Fire, Ben Warren from Beach Time Woodworks, and Victor from WIMM Designs. And if you don't follow them, you're wrong, because they all come from different backgrounds and all have different experiences and different things that they can bring to, your maker portfolio if you have questions in their particular areas. But that's my final words. Josh, you're not going to be the last one either. So, Josh, what are your final words? Because I think we're going to have Victor, since this is his episode after all.
It is his episode.
So, Josh, what
Episodes for the S. So, what do I want to say at the end of this? It's probably something I've said multiple times and a lot of different episodes, but community, it matters. It truly does. There's so many different ways we can sit here and talk about why it matters. If you're a part of it, if you haven't been a part of it, I urge you to join it. You can do that through Instagram or just through your local community by reaching out to local makers. Found a local maker today, set up shop. I stopped by. We talked about lasers for a while, and you know what? Hopefully we'll have him on the podcast at some point in time, bringing new people into the fold. That way they could share into what we've been experiencing as part of the fun. So if you know a maker or you meet a maker, tell them about the podcast, tell them about Instagram, tell them about the experience that you had. So you never know. You might be changing that person's entire life around. You never know what's happening in someone else's life, and a positive influence can definitely lead them down a more positive journey. So with that, go make some sawdust and go help someone else make some too.
Yeah, just kind of like touching on what Josh said is, if you know somebody that's new to the community, engage them. If you are just discovering this podcast, I encourage you to reach out to other people in whatever maker community that you're in, whether it's YouTube or Instagram. Engage other people, have conversations with them. Don't just sit and watch everybody else do stuff. Engage with the community, because I guarantee you're going to go a lot farther than you probably anticipated, because that's exactly what happened to me. I got to the point where I just got so anxious watching people make all this cool stuff that I wanted to give it a shot too. And then here I am. I know a lot of really cool people. I know a lot of really cool makers, and I've learned just a ton of stuff along the way. So engage the community as much as you can.
I'm just thankful because I belong to this community, and met Nap just on a whim, and then he told me about the podcast, and then I got involved with that, and now you can't get rid of me. So I appreciate it because I've learned a lot. I'm wanting to branch out and do other things than what I just do right now, and this community is going to allow me to do that, and I appreciate that. So I just want to say thanks.
Always here for you, buddy.
Well, I guess my final words are going to be simple. In the same theme as everybody else, as far as makers are concerned, speak to a maker. Go out and support a maker. And what does support look like? It doesn't necessarily mean going out and purchasing one of their items. Although, if you happen to be on Etsy and you're looking for a hook for your thing, I mean, please, just let me know.
I know
You
a
know.
guy.
I love it.
Okay, but no, all kidding aside, I mean, it doesn't mean that you need to go out and purchase something. It could just be a like. It could just be again, what Tim talked about. And, I didn't do it in the beginning either. I didn't reach out to anybody. I didn't, my thought process was simply that I was taking too much of their time. Don't do that. Talk to them and you'll be pleasantly surprised. Tim, on the other hand, don't talk to him. He's just, he's
I got nothing to say.
now talk to all these guys. You'll learn a lot. I've gotten many a time when I spoke to Knapp, and he pointed me in the right direction. Josh, Ben, everybody here. I can't say one time that I haven't talked to anybody here that didn't point me in the right direction of where to either look for something or how to figure something out. So just enjoy the ride.
Plot twist. Part 1 was a 2-hour. God, I'm tired.
After dark.
Welcome to part 3. You guys ready for round 3?
Kill me.
Part 3, Part 4, Part 99.
I got to hear that guy again. Oh my god!
What is happening? I just had a stroke. Do you guys smell